artists and photographers, turns out, like every other business, has to advertise. You have to advertise. So what are you going to do about that? And ironically enough, one of my friends from a previous life just called me today, and he's like, he's got a clothing brand, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm trying to relaunch this clothing brand, and it was really big. It was a hit in the early '90s, and the '90s are back. Like, what advice do you have for me?" And as I've been doing this my whole career, and I was like, "My advice to you is don't do it. Don't do it because that money, you're going to light that money on fire. It's never going to work, right?" And I meant it. That is the right advice, because making it with Facebook and Instagram ads is really, really hard, especially when you have a product that doesn't have a subscription to it, and especially when you have a product that doesn't have huge margins in it, right? Like, one of the funny stories with product that's done incredibly well in Facebook ads are these rubber rings. You've probably seen these, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of people that are wearing them now, rubber instead of a regular ring, just because it's easy. Well, these things cost 2 cents, okay, and they sell them for like $50 or $48 or something like that. So they're making so much money per on these guys. It's like it's quite literally out of control. So the takeaway is, an artist or a photographer knows they need to advertise. Okay, there's no two ways. There's no getting around that. The problem is that an artist or a photographer cannot advertise on Facebook and Instagram, because you're just not going to make money if you do. And what is the one thing that I've said is, like, I've been doing this for close to 10 years now. Okay, by which I mean helping artists and photographers sell their art and photography online and off. In that entire 10-year period, okay, of helping an artist and photographers do this, I have not seen one single solitary artist or photographer, by which I mean none, that have consistently run ads on any of the digital platforms. I have not seen anyone do it consistently on Twitter, formerly Twitter, now X. I've not seen someone consistently do it on Instagram. I've not seen someone consistently do it on Facebook. I've not seen someone consistently do it on LinkedIn. I'm not really on LinkedIn, Pinterest, any of the rest of them. I have never seen an artist or a photographer that has figured out to somehow advertise consistently on any of the social media platforms via ads and make that pay. And the reason I know I've never seen one is because they all quit doing it. They all do it for some short little season and then they quit. So let's just rehash where we are so far. So what I've just told you is that you absolutely have to advertise, artists and photographers. Okay. Number one. And then number two, the easiest way to advertise in today's day and age on the digital platforms does not work. Okay. It does not work. So this is a significant conundrum, right? How do you solve this significant conundrum? The good news is there is a very easy way to solve it. And the long and the short is, you have to get insanely creative. Okay. What do I mean by that? How do you get insanely creative? We know that all the attention, all your potential buyers are on the social media platforms. Your art is so good, you can just get it in front of these huge audiences. It will sell. You'll have a big business. Don't act like you've never said that to yourself in the mirror. Okay. I get that comment all the time. And I love it. You guys should have the courage of your convictions, i.e., if you get that art, you get that photography in front of the right eyeballs, people are going to get interested in it. They're going to follow you and they're going to purchase it. So what do you do? You do while everyone else is zigging, okay, spending money on Facebook and Instagram ads. I want you to zag. I want you to zag. And the mechanism by which that is available is print giveaways. Okay, is print giveaways. And the I don't even have to like tell you this, okay, because I have 2 podcast episodes and it's right behind me. You can see it. Art Marketing
before we get
Podcast.
into the other and more broader
Shut
topics,
up,
I think
shut
it's
up,
important
shut
to
up,
discuss.
shut up, shut
Okay.
up, Blowhard. I can't stand listening to myself. But anyway, I can't even like show it off. Why isn't it loading? I have 2 episodes in here, okay, that I want all of you guys to listen to. And then I'm going to go on my rant here too, so don't worry. Number 55, smart artists don't run ads. Instead, they do this, introducing the loop, okay? And number 56, supercharging the loop, in which I outline, okay, how with print giveaways, an artist or a photographer can advertise, okay? An artist or photographer, if they get smart and they realize, instead of an ad, this print that I have to print out and ship, or this piece of merch that I have to print out and ship, for some of you, this original, because it's small and it didn't cost me that much, that I have to ship, that is not my artwork, okay, that I'm giving away. That is just an ad that I'm paying money for. Normally, I would go and write that check to Mark Zuckerberg in the form of Facebook or Instagram ads, or for those poor folks that have hit the boost post button, okay, and gotten absolutely nothing in return. That print, that merch, okay, that original is just me paying for an ad. That's it. Okay. That's it. Now, for those that have never heard this concept, or you're like, what the heck is this idiot talking about? You offer up a print in order to get someone to do something. Normally, what we say is like, hey, enter your email address below to win, and I'll ship you, the winner, a free print. Okay. And then when we email everybody who the winner is, we offer a sale to everyone that didn't win, trying to pick up some extra revenue out of the campaign. So that's sort of the loop, as I call it, in this episode right here, 56. So that's what the loop is, right? The problem with the loop is that every single solitary one of you, or the vast majority of you, run into the chicken and egg problem, meaning you don't have a big enough audience. The only people that are following you are your significant other and your mother. Okay. Thank you, Mom, for liking and sharing and commenting on everything. We love you. And so when you attempt to run a giveaway to your existing audience, you don't have a damn existing audience. Okay. You don't have enough eyeballs that are going to opt in to actually win the print. That's just not going to work out. Okay. That's the problem that most people face. Now, I should say, no matter what, I advocate that my customers do one a month to their existing audiences, i.e., one print giveaway per month, 12 per year. And there's some strategic times when we do that because people love these. They're awesome. And it's just advertising, you guys. It is just advertising. But how do we solve for the chicken and the egg problem, right? And this is the biggest question in the whole thing. How can you find an audience in which to do a print giveaway such that you'll get a ton of people that are interested in it, a ton of new follows, ideally some sales, some people on your email address, your email list? And that's always been the problem, right? And there's been a whole bunch of different ways to go about this. But one of the creative ways that I designed a number of years back is called the curator strategy, okay? The curator strategy, right? And in this strategy, you would go and find someone on Instagram or on Facebook or someone that manages a Facebook group that has a ton of attention. Let's say you are a photographer that shoots Doberman pinchers because you love Doberman pinchers. A dog you don't see all that often anymore. And you go and find a Facebook group that's all about Doberman pinchers. Okay. And this Facebook group has 10,000 followers. So you know that in that group, there are a bunch of people that are diehard Doberman pinscher fans, right? So the idea on the strategy would be you would contact the member of the group, the owner of the group rather, and you would say, hey, group owner, I'm an artist. I have these incredible Doberman pinscher art. Take a look. Would you be interested in running a print giveaway to your audience and we could share the email address? And it was a really good strategy, that the curator strategy, right? It was a really good strategy because conceptually it's just so smart. You're going to someone that has a ton of attention and you're saying, hey, here's a way to reward your community. You give them this print for free, and I just want some email addresses out of it. The problem I realize is you end up introducing too much friction, okay? Too much friction into the arrangement the minute you start asking one of these folks to do too much, right? Asking them to jump through too many hoops. Hey, can I do this giveaway of this print to your group? And we'll share the email addresses. And this person's like, I don't know who the heck you are. I don't want to share these email addresses with you. Like, why would I do that? And so a bunch of my customers went out there and did it. Some of them got the deals over the line and it worked out. I mean, you saw Kim leaving a comment earlier. It worked for her. It's worked for a bunch of people. But inevitably, because you get a lot of people when you approach this, when you go after the strategy the way that I've outlined it, you get a lot of people that say no. People really don't like the rejection. It's hard, right? Like you have to be a very distinct type of a human being that likes doing cold calls, right? Like I had a number of my friends that like their first job out of sales was cold calls, where literally their boss was like, you are going to dial 125 times today, right? And you're going to get a bunch of no's and you're going to get a bunch of do not ever call me again, lose my number, go die, I hate you. Like as a human being, that's a really hard thing to have to listen to, right? And that's kind of what this strategy was, because I was asking my customers to go and contact like 30 or 40 or 50 of them. And you're going to likely end up getting ignored or hearing no or saying no thanks the majority of the responses. That's a really tough pill to swallow, right? That's a really, really hard pill to swallow. And so what ended up happening is inevitably my customers would get disengaged with that idea and they would quit. And I realized that was therein lies the problem of the entire thing, right? Like if I want this thing to work, I realize I've got to make it as easy as possible, one, to get my customers to do it, and two, get as easy as possible for the person that has the audience, okay, to say yes, right? To say yes. And every single solitary one of you, okay, every single solitary one of you, the beautiful thing about the world that we live in now with social media, there are not just a couple, but there are tens to hundreds to thousands to tens of thousands of accounts on social media that have huge followings that cater to exactly the type of community that you are trying to reach with your art, right? That's number one. Number two, they're all pretty easy to contact. Okay. It's not like we have to show up at a building and try to get around the secretary to get into their office, right? Or trick somebody on the phone, or send a FedEx to the mailroom and hope it arrives at their desk, right? Like all the tricks that you would have to use back in the day to get in front of the decision maker. No, a lot of the people that are running these huge accounts that you need to get their attention, they're one man, one gal, one whatever shows, right? And so all it takes is your message just reaching them and getting them to say yes. And where I went wrong in my earlier iterations of this strategy is I made it too difficult for my customers to do, rejection, and I made it too difficult for the person on the other end to say yes. And I realized that was short-sighted on my part. And I'm now updating this entire playbook. I'm updating this entire strategy to what it needs to be. Okay. And what it needs to be is simply this. You do the research. You go and find the groups. You go and find the Instagram accounts. You ride hashtags. You get 10 Instagram accounts, 20 Instagram accounts, 30 Instagram accounts that you think represent your niche. Okay. These are folks that are just sharing stuff all day long. They're just sharing art all day long. They're just sharing, like I said, photos and paintings and videos of Doberman pinchers. Or these are people that are into mushrooms and they're just showing photos and videos and chef's recipes of lion's mane and the blue oyster and the red oyster and button and this and that, all the various different mushrooms, right? You throw a little shiitake in there. And you make a list, and inevitably every single solitary one of you with a little research help. If you're a customer, I'm going to show you how I do this internally. If you're not, it's not that difficult to read between the lines. Okay. You start searching and you make a list and you're like, okay, this guy's got 5,000 followers. This guy's got 25,000. This one's got 100,000. This one's got 500,000. This one's got 1,000,000. We're just looking to get a list of like 20 of them, right? 20 to 30 to 40 to 50, somewhere in there. Then when you contact these folks, all you do, and this is the update to the entire plan, okay? And this is gonna sound like some real rocket science here. When you update the plan, when you update the when I update the playbook, here's all I want all of you to do. I want you to contact the person who has this account that has all the attention and just say, "Hey, Patrick, I love this account. I get a ton of value out of it. I'm an artist that paints your subject matter material as a way of me saying thanks. I would love it if you would ever want to give a print away to your audience. You can have it for free. Just let me know." And then shut up and see what happens. You see what I did there? I did not ask for anything in return. I'm not asking that person with that account or that person that manages that Facebook group. I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm just letting them know I love what they're doing. And I would be honored if they wanted to give a free print away to their audience. Now, what that person hears, okay, that owns that Facebook group, that owns that Instagram account, that owns that Facebook page, that owns that Twitter account, that owns that YouTube channel, that owns that, I hate TikTok, pound sand TikTok, that owns that TikTok account. All you're asking that person, what they're hearing is like, hey, I'm a fan. I love what you're doing. Here is something free that you can give your audience, no strings attached. That's what I'm hearing. All I am is a guy that wakes up every morning and figures out a way to give my community everything that they want so I can continue to grow my following, continue to get better at doing what I'm doing. And so now I see this thing in my message. It's like, here's an artist that's willing to give me a print for free to give away to my community. Then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to click on your profile and I'm going to go and look at your art. Is your art good? Do I like it? Do I think my audience will like it? And very quickly, I'm going to go, you know what? this person is talented. Like I dig this. This work is great. This work is fantastic. And then I'm going to write you a response back saying, you know what? Let's do this. This is awesome. This is a great idea. I would love to give a print away. How will it all work out? And then you're into the conversation with them. And the conversation is very simple. Here's some ideas for how to do a giveaway. Do it however you want. And you just tell me who the winner is, and I will ship them the print directly. You don't have to do anything else. That's it. Right. And what ends up happening there, and I should say this is the updated thinking versus what I asked you guys to do ahead of time. What I asked you guys to do ahead of time was negotiate with this person to try and share email addresses, and to get everybody that's going to win the contest has to enter their email address to go into a box. I still love that idea, by the way, and I still think it works. But what we're doing here in this situation is we're water skiing behind what this guy Cialdini. And Cialdini wrote this book called The Psychology of Persuasion. It's like the Bible on marketing persuasion. Everyone should read it, actually. It's super short. But we were water skiing behind what he calls the psychology of reciprocation, right? And what we're saying is, because you are being so awesome as an artist or a photographer, because you are giving this person a print for free, they now, psychologically speaking, okay, in their psyche, in their inner conscious, are going to feel like they are on the hook for you being so cool. And so what's inevitably going to end up happening, and let's use the Instagram example. They're going to post on Instagram. Because they're talented marketers, they're likely not just going to, they're going to do this. They're going to say, okay, might as well animate it. Guys, I have this amazing print. A follower of mine said that they'd be willing to give away to all of you. So to enter it, all you have to do is this, that, or the other. They're going to make up whatever the hell they want to make up, right? Send me a message, reply to this thing with the comment, whatever. But here it is. It's acrylic. It normally retails for such and such. It's beautiful. Look at it, right? And by the way, do you know what this thing in my hand is? This is your ad. That's all this is. This is an ad. You think it's your artwork. It's not. It's an ad. You wrote a check to run an advertisement, and this is it. So that's what they're going to do. It's by this super talented artist, and then they're going to @mention your Instagram account. And they're going to do that because of the subtle psychology of reciprocation. In fact, they will probably even do more of that, assuming the giveaway goes well. You are taking the risk of printing and shipping that print for free to this person, okay? Because they have the huge audience of the people that you like, you're taking that risk that they're going to do something for you in return. My position is they will do something for you in return more often than not. Oftentimes they will do an @mention, okay, which is now you have an @mention that's going to send all of these people that really like this painting of whatever it is, the Doberman Pinscher, right, that I used earlier, and they're all going to go to your account and follow you, okay? Now, if that was it, that would probably be worth it. That would probably make the entire endeavor worth it. The math say, if you targeted this right and you have great Doberman Pinscher stuff, a bunch of these people are going to come follow you, and inevitably some of them are going to purchase some work from you, whether it's in the next 24 hours or the next 2 months, okay? That's what the math say. But that's the least of our concerns. We have multiple ways to win here, and that's why this strategy is so smart, okay? We have multiple ways to win. What is another way to win? Another way to win is when this person in question, and again, they're a smart marketer, and we'll use Instagram as an example. They are likely going to do a post. They're going to do a reel. They're going to do some stories. They might even do a live broadcast, okay? They're going to do all of that during the course of the giveaway, promoting your art that's going out for free. They are going to be holding your art and showing it off that's going out for free. Hey, guys, a follower gave me this, and it's my job to be able to give it away for free to anybody that does this, that, or the other. They're going to do multiple posts. They're going to do stories. They're going to do all that. Your job, okay, another way to win in all of this, is just to respond to all of the damn positive comments. Anytime someone leaves a positive comment, fired up, excited, complimentary of your art, all you have to do is go in and say thanks, okay? And then the next thing you know, you're starting to have some conversations in those comments. Those people are starting to come and send you direct messages, okay? All of which will happen as a result of running this technique or tactic. Another way to win, right? So that's 2 ways to win. The third way to win is all you're really attempting to do in this scenario is find an account that has a ton of attention that you can build a really cool relationship with. That's it. at the end of the day. Because what all of these individual accounts that have a ton of attention represent, they all represent many little ad networks inside Facebook, inside Instagram, inside YouTube, inside Twitter, now X, inside TikTok. God knows I hate it. All they are is like they're little ads networks. And instead of you having to go to run ads on YouTube or to run ads on Facebook or to run ads on Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest or whatever X, you're just going directly to the source. And you're saying, hey, person with 25,000 dog followers or 100,000 dog followers or Kim Kardashian, whatever size it is, you don't know it, but you're basically your own ads network. And if I can forge a relationship with you and give you some art to give away for free, and that's an awesome experience, the chances are you've now formed a relationship and you're going to be able to do this again. Maybe it's once a quarter, right? Maybe it's 4 times a year. Maybe it's twice a year. Maybe all it takes is you doing that one time. Okay. What is this going to cost shipped? What is this thing going to cost shipped? Okay. $27, $37, $47, depending on what it is. This is just an ad. And you, by agreeing to ship one of these things for free one damn time, might have a relationship on your hands that you can now advertise with multiple times a year, every year for the next, I don't even know how many years. Okay. When you start thinking, when you're capable of zooming out, right? Because what ends up happening is everyone gets fired up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know someone that I can do this on, that I've been following for a long time that would be perfect, right? And you put all your eggs in that emotional basket. No, don't do that. When you realize, like, if you contact 300 of these people a year and you get 30 of them, okay, into the water is giveaways, 10 of those might just be home runs. 10 of them just might be huge home runs. And then those 10 relationships you might keep for the rest of your art selling life, right? Contemplate that. Do you realize the leverage that exists in that? It's massive. It's massive. It is highly creative, right? Like, no one is talking about this. No one has figured this out, right? Eric's asking me, like, what if your art website has a variety of subject styles? Yeah, that doesn't matter, Eric. Pick one of the subject styles and go find something that matches up with those. And then grab another subject style and go find something that matches up with those, right? It like, a lot of people have a ton of different work, but you would be surprised. Like, go and attract the people that like your style on that one subject matter material. And I look at you guys like, art is, generally speaking, a pretty high margin item, right? Like, we're advising our customers to do 250% markups, right? And originals even higher than that. So, you make a couple sales as a result of one print giveaway, you are massively revenue positive very, very quickly, right? Very, very quickly. Yeah, Nita's asking about niches. Like, this is like such a genius technique in so many different ways, right? Now, some of you guys you're not gonna be able to get anyone to say yes. And you're gonna be like, what the hell is going on? And you might get into a scenario where it's like, damn it, this work is not good enough. If I can't get these people to give it away for free, I know I'm not on the right track. And now right? For a whole bunch of the rest of you, these people are going to jump out of their chairs and say yes immediately, instantly, just because you're making it that easy for them to say yes. You're making it that easy for them to say, like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I want to do this, right? So I'm obviously going to expand on this in a podcast. If you're a customer, I'm going to run a workshop internally very, very soon. I'm going to run a damn competition for the first person that gets 5 of them over the line, which I'm going to give away something gnarly inside internally at Art Storefront. So if you're a customer, look for that. And I want as many of you doing this, shipping this, attempting this as possible, because it's just too smart. It's too smart. It's too easy. You're creatively going around all the normal advertising vendors. You're going directly to the source, and you're making it stupid easy for them. Then you're working on the hand-to-hand combat, replying to the comments, and you're being super switched on to everything that takes place during that thing. It's just a fantastic strategy. And you know what? What are you guys known for? Your damn creativity. Well, let me tell you, this is creative. It's about as creative as it gets. So excited to see a bunch of you guys try this. You are going to see me talking about it. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, it's everywhere. Art Marketing Podcast. It's on It's everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's this, that, Overcast, that, and I can't remember all the names, but anywhere that you find a podcast. And if you want more context on this, again, go and listen to number 60 now. Where is it? I've got to start releasing more episodes, and I know that. Thank you for the guys. Number 55, smart artists don't run ads. Instead, they do this, introducing the loop. And number 56, supercharging the loop. This will give you some really good context on how this whole thing works. And every single solitary one of you can do it. And every single solitary one of you are telling me all day long, if you just got the work in front of more eyeballs, you know it would sell. I am telling you, this is a way that you can get it in front of a ton of eyeballs without leaving your house and buy for the simple spend of like $30 or $40 or $50 shipped. Okay. That is pretty damn hard to do any other way. Any questions before we wrap up? Leave a comment. I'm happy to answer them. But definitely subscribe to the podcast. Definitely listen to these. Podcast has over 500,000 downloads, by the way. We just crossed that mark recently, which is pretty rad. But just in the top 1% of podcasts in the world to have had 500,000 downloads. And, you know, whatever. It's not Joe Rogan or, you know, any of those other huge shows, but it's kind of a cool stat. I'll take it. You know, 500,000 downloads. All right. Well, I appreciate all of you guys. I want you to contemplate this giveaway technique. I want you to contemplate this tactic. If you only caught half of this and you're like, what the hell is he talking about? The minute this broadcast is over, no matter where you're watching it, if you're watching on Instagram, it'll be saved. If you're watching it on YouTube, it'll be saved. You can go back and watch it. If you're watching it on Facebook, you can go back and watch it and saved. But contemplate this as an advertising strategy, you guys. Utter, total, and complete game changer. Thanks.